Hey guys, so I got a few parts just this week from Paragon Armory. Uh, Japanese EZO stainless steel J-cage bearings. These are the bearings to have. If you're going to be using bearings, you should probably just get these low key. Otherwise, I mean, you can do this, which is solid steel bushings on the spur gear, and then you can have the regular W cage bearings on the other two. That's a decent reliability upgrade right there. If you don't want to pony up for the full $40 it costs for a set of EZOs, understandable. It's an expensive thing to do when you're already trying to make your gun perform on a budget. But I didn't come here to talk about bearings. I want to talk about some compression parts that I got from the Italian manufacturer and brand FPS Softair. I believe they're making all of these parts in-house. And so I got this cylinder head and this piston head. So let's talk about the cylinder head first. Cylinder head has this thicker pad, similar to this piston cylinder head that I've been using for a while. This is like my go-to, just kind of like standard single sector gear build cylinder head. Nice thick pad at the front, so it helps with shock absorption to the shell, and it also helps with AOE. So that's nice. Compared to this one, looks like it's a little bit taller by like a millimeter, maybe half a millimeter or something. So this one's going to give you a little more AOE correction properties. But at least this one's still got something. There's also a pad at the front, so that's going to help with more shock absorption to the shell. People are afraid of cylinder heads with these pads at the front, and it's because of the Max cylinder heads that have the pad at the front and are known for shearing the locating lugs on the front of the gearbox just clean off. They can really do a number on a gearbox shell, even a retro arm shell. But like the low neck cylinder heads with the pad at the front, these holes here are elongated. In the car world, we would say that they're slotted, I guess. So that piece is not actually going to bang up, and I can even see it there. That piece is not going to get banged up at all. It's not touching it. So I think they thought about that. I think they really took that into consideration, and I think that that's well thought out, and I don't think that you're going to have to worry about that damage. The awesome thing that I really like about this, though, is this conical shape here. This kind of shape, this like countersunk conical shape, is very conducive to airflow. It helps guide the air instead of just like a choked off circle like that, you know. This really helps guide the air where you're trying to get it to go. You know, it's going to take the path of least resistance, and that just provides even less resistance. So that could contribute to FPS gains, plus the pad giving you reliability. Both pads giving you reliability. Stainless steel shaft is nice and smooth, similar to an ASG cylinder head that I have here. Stainless steel shaft is very smooth, so you don't have to worry about like residue or getting worn off. It's going to have low friction properties. So like this cheaper cylinder head that I like to use, it's anodized aluminum, so this anodizing can rub off when you have a nozzle that fits properly, especially even if it has an O-ring, and even if it's made of plastic, that can happen. So testing the fitment of the nozzle, this is a VFC M4 nozzle, really popular nozzle to use. It's definitely got a good bit of play, a good bit of wiggle here. More than my cylinder head. Yeah, this is nice. I really like this. Oh wow. The ASG has even less. Damn, that's nice. Too bad I don't really like the cylinder head all that much. Yeah. So good bit of wobble on the nozzle here. Not that much, but you know, I've seen worse, but it's not the greatest. So you might have to make up for it in other ways, like how you modify your tappet plate, or perhaps gluing this to the tappet plate, gluing your nozzles to the tappet plate, or stronger tappet springs might also help. But overall, I really like the design of this cylinder head. This should be really conducive for reliability and performance. It's similar to this airsoftparts.cz. That's like the website. That's just how I refer to them. Airsoftparts.cz. It's a Czech company that makes their own parts, that has a similar kind of conical hole that it can flow in, but also has a completely different sealing mechanism that's not very common to be seen. It's even different than the ASG style, where this is just a big piece of rubber that just fits into the cylinder super tight. Not only does it expands on this concept and turns it into a little, it's not a flange, but you know, it's an extension, a lip, or whatever you want to call it. So when the air flows at it, it spreads that apart, flares that up, and causes it to seal extremely well. So this one I haven't done much testing with yet. I just got split retro arms gearbox shell, so I can start testing compression parts really easily. So really excited for that. Lastly, I got this this piston head, and this seems like a nice one. I really like it so far. The plastic seems strong and also lightweight too, so that can be good for high rate of fire builds. I guess I shouldn't say that it's strong yet, although I've heard good things about it so far. But I don't have any personal experience with it yet, so I don't want to put out false info or give people the wrong impression. Let's check out this O-ring. Very stiff. Wow, super stiff O-ring. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you actually kind of want stiffer material for your O-ring. I think it helps seal better. But I think stiffer would also make it more difficult for it to flare outwards. But the awesome thing about these piston heads is, because they're made of plastic, you can make them larger. So this is like damn near the same, you know, the outer diameter of this piston head is damn near the same as the inner diameter of a cylinder. So the inner diameter of a cylinder is typically right about 23.8 millimeters. So on this piston head we have 23.6, 23.5, 23.6, about 23.6 millimeters. So there's only a, you know, 0.2 of a millimeter gap between, or that's diameter. So there's only 1/10 of a millimeter of a gap around the entire piston head. Sorry. So that's going to be really good for, you know, a common term people are using these days is dead space. It's going to be good for utilizing more of the air volume inside the cylinder, and potentially also preventing less from escaping around the piston head. The ports, it's not very common to see the ports so close to the inside of the piston head like that. Very interesting. I think because of the, again, you know, similar to like this, it has that conical shape, so air is going to flow that way into those holes, and I think that could actually help a lot to flaring out that O-ring and creating a seal super quickly and super reliably. I don't really have much else to say about it. I am a big fan of plastic piston heads, even for DSGs, to be honest, because less shock transferred to the shell. If you're not using a retro arm shell, you know, mitigating shock to the front of that shell is like what you want to do. I guess with these new upcoming gearbox shell designs, like the G&G G2, the amount of reinforcement on that shell is very quite nice. So yeah, overall, really excited to try these parts out. Stay tuned. Thank you.